So you've officially been pulled out of the friend zone. You actually have a first date with the girl that you have been being so polite to and, you know, hanging out and laughing with all of your coworkers, or you met somebody at a restaurant, at the grocery store, wherever it may have been. You got them digits. Now, what fragrance do you wear? First impressions of a first date means a lot. There's going to be nostalgia attached to it, and you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to wear something crazy. Today, I have assembled the perfect first date fragrances. Let's go ahead and get them. So the first fragrance I'm going to bring up is an inexpensive gem. It's fresh, it's spicy, it's seductive. It is Azzaro's Ginger Lover. Now this fragrance has got some lime, ginger, and vetiver. Really nice concoction. If you've not smelled this, this is an absolute must-have for a first date, and even just for anybody's collection that likes those sexy ginger fragrances. So the next fragrance is a fresh, aromatic, iconic marine fragrance. It is Aqua Dejo Profumo. This DNA has been such a heavy-hitting DNA for quite some time, but it is very, very effective. Whether we admit it or not, this fragrance works. It just simply works, and we're talking about first date. You don't want to overthink this. You want to smell good. You want to know that your fragrance is being effective. And if this scent profile does remind her of an ex, her dad, or whatever, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Those memories, especially if they had good memories. Now, if they had bad memories, you know, it could be, but more than likely not. It's going to be familiar. They might not know it right off the cuff. And being that there's so many new fragrances that have come into the market, I don't think this would be a bad choice at all. Now, I have to assume that not everybody that's going to see this video is, you know, been in the fragrance game long or just doesn't know. So yes, I do have to bring out some pretty obvious ones. But those of you who don't know, or those of you who do know, Mr. All right himself, D&G, the one, Eau de Parfum.
That's all right. We'll worry about that later.
This fragrance is a timeless staple for date night fragrances. It just absolutely works. Some of the notes in this are grapefruit, cedar, cardamom, tobacco. It's a great scent profile. And if you go with light enough application, which I would recommend doing anyway, this fragrance does sit kind of close to the skin. I'm just talking about like now. For high heat, lighter application, this fragrance is not going to be too much, especially in the evening if you're going to be in a controlled environment, unless you're out like at a marina and it is hot as you know what out there. This fragrance is going to be absolutely perfect. You might could give a little heavier sprays without going crazy if you know that you're going to be on the inside where the air conditioner is running. Now, I think it would be safe to say on this next fragrance, anything from this particular line, and I'm talking about the Yves Saint Laurent Loam line, any of these fragrances are going to be perfect. But for me personally, I would go with the OG Loam or go with Loam Ultime. Ultime is a slightly different take on Loam. Now, both of those fragrances are built around the note of ginger, but you also have some added vetiver, rose, cardamom, and green apple in this one. An absolute gem. And again, just in case for you guys that might be new, when you hear florals in fragrance, don't always think that's a bad thing. If you hear rose in fragrances, don't think that's a bad thing, especially when you smell a fragrance like this. Women adore the scent profile. If you do have any doubts for any reason, just go with Loam. If you are in doubt whatsoever and you can't make it out to the mall to sample one of these fragrances, go to today's sponsor. If you're looking for samples and decants, go to www.myfragrancesamples.com. Enter my discount code CFR15 to get 15% off when you check out. You get a free sample every time you make a purchase. Make sure you go to www.myfragrancesamples.com. Now the next fragrance is warm, spicy, woody, very, very, very effective for date night. And it is compared to an iconic date night fragrance from Yves Saint Laurent Tuxedo. I'm talking about Rosa's Mustache EDP. This fragrance is back in circulation. It is out and about. It has been like diving in and out. I can remember where there's like a stretch of 6 months. You'd be lucky if you saw it. If you didn't buy it right then, it was gone. They are stocked up at the discounters right now. So this is an amazing fragrance, nice presentation, heavy cap, but we're talking about that scent profile that drives women gaga. Now this is one that is a little bit warmer, a little bit spicier, a little bit better performance. So go lighter on application, you should be fine. And the reason I keep mentioning that is obviously you don't want to overspray. You don't want to affect allergies. And then of course, when we're getting out here in this high heat and humidity, these fragrances do, really kind of radiate. So just go easier on the application, make them come in and smell you. You don't want to walk in smelling like that cologne guy. You don't want to be that dude.
I got blood spurt. Oh no, don't use that one. Go ahead.
Now, all these fragrances I have personally tried. I have personally worn them on first dates. I've personally worn them in relationships. So I know they work. And especially this one, it's been with me since 2010. It is Bleu de Chanel. This is the EDT. EDP or Parfum is fine if you have a preference. I think that each one is just as effective as the other for what we're talking about today. This is fresh, it's woody, it's classic, it's sensual, it is just going to work. Whether you believe it or not, this is a very alluring fragrance that does bring women in and even connects very strong memories. I have very strong memories connected to this fragrance for various reasons, but there was a girl that I dated, I think it was back in 2017. She didn't want to smell anything else but this fragrance. So yeah, it's gonna work. Now, one type of scent that I think every man needs in his collection is an iris fragrance. Women are attracted to iris. And the fragrance I'm talking about is Prada Loam. Now, I know some of you may have been thinking like Dior Homme Intense. Yes, if you get to the point to where you can wear those lipsticky irises, yes. But this fragrance is easy to wear. You can wear this as an office scent, which is what a lot of people have talked about for several years now. But I have worn this for dates. I've actually worn it when I wasn't going on dates and wound up in dating situations because I was wearing this fragrance. You've got a super sexy neroli iris amber combo in this fragrance where you just cannot go wrong. I didn't even know that I could get the results that I have with this fragrance, and this is a pretty new bottle. If you can see the dent, yeah, it's sexy. Straight up sexy. So the other day I got a text message from my buddy Jacob Bryant. He was like, rapid fire, Dior Homme Intense or Valentino Uomo Intense? I was like, Valentino Uomo Intense. He's like, yeah, me too. Now, for those of you who like Dior Homme Intense, yeah, it's a great fragrance. But something that's a little bit more likable, a little bit easier to wear is Valentino Uomo Intense. This one has a little mandarin, vanilla, iris, and leather, like a soft leather or suede note in here. Very masculine, very sexy. Valentino Uomo Intense. So I don't know what your perfect idea of what the perfect first date is. For me, I would say you want to take her to a nicer restaurant, unless you just like, yo, I just want to go to Mickey D's and go back to your house. If that's the case, it is what it is. But if you want to go out for that steak or, at least a nice seafood plate or something like that, I would highly recommend something a little bit more upscale, something very masculine, something that's going to be a statement maker. Something with bergamot, patchouli, and musk is going to be Prada Rosa Black. This fragrance right here is really growing on me. I've always liked it, but like when it first came out, I think I was a little bit underwhelmed because I guess maybe because there was so many flankers that came out from this line. But really, now that I've went back and spent time with all of them, they're all solid. But this one right here, as far as like that perfect black tie affair or first date, Prada Rosa Black is a must-have. So of course we're in 2021 and first dates are not what they were back in the 50s or 60s. At least what they said. I think they played a lot more innocent than what they actually were, but there was chivalry. There was, earning, you know what I mean. So anyway, yeah, if you know that first date is going to get heated, if you know things are going to get very progressive as the evening goes on, go ahead and wear the ultimate date night fragrance, the ultimate sexy machine, Yves Saint Laurent La Nuit de L'Homme. This is the OG. This happens to be a batch from 2015, so it's got a strong cardamom note in here, and that cardamom is known like iris and some other notes to really get those ladies' motors humming. So you've got that warm, spicy, seductive cardamom mixed with a little bit of lavender and some woods. That's primarily what this fragrance is made of, but yes, this is the one that you do want to spray on the sheets. You do want to spritz at the back of your neck. Ladies absolutely adore this fragrance, and it does get them excited. So the next fragrance is fresh, it's warm, it's spicy, it's aromatic, it's extremely effective, compliment garnering, gonna leave a scent trail from hell no matter where you go, and people are just gonna, because it just smells that good. It is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. This fragrance is extremely effective. My most complimented designer fragrance still to this day. It absolutely works. It's perfect. You've got notes of mandarin here for some fresh citrus. You also have a nice tonka bean on the dry down. It's just a beautiful fragrance, and anything from the Allure line is extremely effective, as I've mentioned numerous times, but my most battle-hardened, battle-tested fragrance from the Allure line is going to be the Eau Extreme. Now, this wasn't like 10 through 1 or any of that. It was just each fragrance, no matter what your taste is or how much you know about the girl that you're going out with, be careful. Just don't overspray. Relax, be confident, lightly apply your fragrance, not too light, but then not too much. Last thing you want to do is have her nose clogged up and her sneezing, her eyes watering, or you have to take her to the hospital for, you know, an EpiPen shot because she's in the anaphylactic shock, or none of that craziness. So as I mentioned, this was pretty much like a viewer's choice video, but it's also just a great video idea, I think, especially those of you who are new to the game. But fret not, I'm noticing I'm getting more younger guys asking questions, so I'm actually going to do maybe like a top 5 date night scents for like teenagers, or you know, maybe guys that are 16 to 25 or something like that. There'll be more to come. Stay tuned, and we got lots more summer content. Until next time, I'll catch you guys later.